Hello, good afternoon. It's Lindsay. It is October 21st, 2024. It's Monday. And once again, I find myself making another video about narcissistic abuse or psychological abuse, gaslighting. And it's gotten to the point where this person who I've been talking about in these videos, who is a clear psychopath, sociopath, narcissist, and I'm quite sure of it now. He definitely is. I just want to talk about some more about what this person has done lately. So I talked about in some other videos how it's all correlated with this gang stalking and neighborhood watch harassment. These people who have been sent to my life, like as quote unquote handlers or whatever they are, whoever they're sent by. This person clearly is not gonna stop harassing me or hoovering me or bothering me until obviously I do something to put an end to it. And I guess that means that, whatever you have to do to make these people stop and leave you alone is a good question, because they seem to think that they have some kind of authority over your life, or that you are somebody who they can just come and go as they please into your life and manipulate you, lie to you, exploit you, gaslight you, and all these kinds of things to try to maintain control over you, or their victim, as I should call it, because that's basically what they try to do, is put you in a victim mentality where you feel kind of trapped and overwhelmed and confused, and it's all meant to mess with your emotions on such a level that you have mixed emotions, because that's what the gaslighting is done, to make you so confused that you second guess yourself and that you doubt your own reality and perceptions. And that's what gaslighting is, and that's what narcissistic people do, to try to keep you constantly guessing or figuring, or trying to figure out, and trying to keep you in a web of lies and manipulation, like a trap. So I had talked about how I had told this person various times to leave me alone, and actually I had gotten mad and said, fuck off, go away, I don't want to see you again, I don't like you. As far as in text messages go, because they won't take no for an answer. They seem to think that that you don't have the right to tell them to go away, that you don't have the right to make your own decisions, and that how dare you? You can't do that to me because I'm in control. That's the kind of mentality they have. Whereas other people in other types of relationships, because in the past I've been in other relationships where the people just leave. It's a mutual kind of breakup where there's no hard feelings, or it's not anything like what you are dealing with a narcissist. Like, other people don't have a problem. The relationship ends, you're both okay with that, and you go on and you move on, and you just don't contact them again, or vice versa, or even, you're not on bad terms. In other words, it's just one of those kinds of things. It just wasn't meant to be, and it's okay because it wasn't meant to be, and you're okay with that, and that person's okay with it, and that's a mutual type of understanding. Well, with these narcissists, though, who are control freaks, they can't take no for an answer. They can't accept that something is over, and they can't accept that you have ended it or discarded them, when in fact they have to flip it to make it look like they're the ones who are, they have to be the ones who are in charge all the time, are in control of every situation. So they do a lot of reverse psychology to make it look like they discarded you and that you're chasing them, when it's the other way around, when you're the one who ended it, and they keep on trying to pursue you by hoovering you. But it's only, in the case of these types of individuals, it's only to get, whenever they're coming back around, which is called hoovering. I don't know, that word, they call it hoovering, when they keep coming back to see how weak you are, to, kind of test the waters or whatever, to see how you've improved or whatever it is that they're doing. It's like a psychological type of manipulation where they want to see if you're going to accept them back into your life or your home. Well, that's called hoovering, and you should not, if you have enough experience with these individuals and you can kind of predict their behavior, it's something that you should not accept, because from my experience, when I have allowed a person back into my life after the relationship is clearly ended and there's nothing there anymore, there's no trust, there's no feelings towards that, you don't have any, you just don't, it's like you've just gone numb to the whole, you don't feel anything for them, you don't have any, you don't feel, you just kind of feel like a null void type of feeling, like you don't, if that makes sense, you don't really care, or you don't really, it's like you don't really want to know what happens to them, you don't care. And so with me, I can let that go. I can easily walk away from something, but I have a problem of allowing people to come back. Like, I don't contact them, they'll contact me to try to come back into my life. And that's the thing with these people, is they cannot let go of certain people, and especially if you're somebody who understands about narcissistic abuse, and you're somewhat, I don't call myself an empath by any means, but I happen to have a lot of knowledge and experience with these kinds of people. So I guess they see that as a vulnerability whenever you exhibit any kind of weaknesses or vulnerabilities around these individuals. That's when they abuse you even more psychologically. They manipulate, they gaslight, and they abuse the victim. I don't call myself a victim, but that's what I don't see myself as a victim by any means, but a survivor. But this is what they do, is they just keep coming back and to see if you're going to allow it or what you're going to do. Because it's about, with them, you need to, what a person needs to understand is that it's about your reaction. It's about what they really want is to see how you're going to react, and they're trying to get a reaction out of you, and they're trying to press buttons that your weaknesses. And so I found out when I was involved with this individual, this man, what his main insecurities and weaknesses are, and I can assure you that it's mostly about his body and his image, and he's got a lot of insecurities, and we all, most people do have insecurities about things, but this person, such that he has to project onto me, like his problems and insecurities were becoming such a burden on me that he was blaming. It's like he would blame me for his problems, like projection, and that's called psychological projection. Like, they don't like it, like when you're a person who does your own thing, you have your own schedule, your routine. They normally don't like that because it's taking away time that they feel that you owe them. Like, they're very entitled to individuals by thinking that you have to completely rearrange your life to cater to their needs, which they're very demanding. And so if you're not a person who's going to accommodate to them in the way that they expect you to and demand you to, which is they do demand, they actually start demand, then this is when they act out, and this is when you're going to see their behavior is very much that of like they act really childish. They act very immature. They act childish. They act like a bully, and they act really entitled to the point where you feel like who are you? And this is what, and then they'll turn around and say that you're the one who's crazy, that you're the one who behaves from one day to the next, when in fact you're just reacting. It's called reactive abuse. You're reacting to the way they are behaving around you. So, but it makes it look like you're the one who's crazy when it's all their gaslighting. This is what people do. It's called gaslighting. You're just reacting to what they're doing to the abuse, the psychological abuse that they're inflicting on you. And it's a normal thing to react to these people in that kind of way, because it's so shocking, their behavior, that you do get angry. A normal person, when they're being treated like that, like taken advantage of and treated like an object, like you're supposed to be at this person's beck and call to be a sex slave or something, whatever, then you're gonna, then most people are probably gonna act out in a way that's reactive abuse, where you confront them and say you don't like what they're doing, you don't appreciate their behavior, and that they better stop, and that they should just leave you alone because you want to move on with your life. You're not interested in trying to pursue anything more because you see that it's not getting anywhere. You see that that person doesn't respect your boundaries. They don't take you seriously. They see you as only somebody who's a friend with benefits, who's supposed to do things for them that only maybe a wife or girlfriend would maybe do, or a whore would be doing to a man. You know, I'm sorry to sound so blunt, but honestly, if you've been with, and I'm talking about my own stupidity and learning from my own mistakes, because what kind of person is going to stay in a relationship or situationship with somebody for over a year when you're still only considered to be a friend who is supposed to just bow down to this person and do what they want when they want, and demand, and they're demanding? What kind of situation is that? And that's why I've wondered, who the fuck is this man? Who was he really working for? And who the hell has contracted him to fuck up my life, screw up my emotions, and when I say this, I see that it's all correlated with that legal probate thing that I was going through with my deceased father. I guess I'm pretty sure he was my father in Kerrville, that happened in February of 2023. How this man immediately, how it was all so coordinated, how it was all so synchronized, how he was so pursuant of me during all that time. You see how it's like, who paid him? Somebody clearly sent this man to fuck with me and to confuse me and gaslight me. It's very obvious. And I'd have to be a real fool to think that, oh no, it was just a coincidence, and that, no. Everything about it was so clearly orchestrated and synchronized, such that this man was clearly working for somebody to fuck with me. And I would imagine that person would be somebody in my own immediate family, to discredit me on a psychological level, to make me look crazy, so that I don't get what I'm entitled to monetarily speaking. That's what I think, because this person was doing nothing but fucking gaslighting me and exploiting me sexually. And that's all he was doing the whole time that I was with him. That's all it was. And that's all the whole thing revolved around, was my pleasing him, going out of my fucking way to try to please him, to the point that I was making myself feel sick. He was making me sick. I was feeling pressured. I was feeling overwhelmed. I was feeling like I was being suffocated by his presence, because he was so pushy, and his energy was so toxic in a lot of ways, that it's like it was exhausting, physiologically and mentally exhausting. And that's what they do, is they are so, and besides, think about the man who's like twice my height, or almost twice my height, or a taller individual. I'm not that tall. I'm only like 5'3", 5'2", whatever. And this person's a lot, significantly taller than myself, and a body stature of more than myself. I weigh, I'm not a huge person, but I'm just more of I'm not a tall, huge, overwhelming individual. I'm just kind of more average. And this person, what they do, these kinds of men who are usually sex addict predators, they take advantage of women who they think are, what I've noticed about this, because it's happened to me before with men here in San Antonio, for whatever reason, I never had this issue in Houston. I actually was on good terms. I can't think of any relationship in my past where I've ever had it really bad, where the person wanted to get revenge on me, or where it was this toxic ever in my life. I look back at all of my past relationships, and every single one of them was amicable. just about, they all, I can actually still be friends with these men. Nothing ended on a bad note where it had to be like this. It was not like that because I'm a mature person and I know how to communicate. But I seem to get involved with these men who have, at least here, since I've been here, I've been involved with some men who are very immature, arrested development adults who behave like children. They're usually larger in stature or a little bit large body frame. Sometimes they're a little bit, not, you know what I mean? Like one time I got catfished by a man on a dating site who literally had just been out of prison, and he completely didn't look anything like his photo that he probably had from before he ever went to prison. And when I met him in person, he was at least 60 pounds heavier, and he still had an ankle bracelet on from out of jail. He was on probation or parole, whatever, when you're out of jail. Parole, I guess, probation, I don't know, but he practically tried to rape me. I mean, the guy was like a predator, and come to find out, he had been in jail for drug charges as well as domestic violence. And talk about trying to be on pins and needles. This man was extremely dangerous, and I saw his behavior go from being, I mean, he could be nice and charming, but wow, this man had a real dangerous side to him, and I experienced and saw that for myself. And this is what happens. They exhibit that behavior when they're on drugs, when they're on alcohol, or when you reject them and don't give them what they demand. This is that kind of toxic, almost animalistic behavior comes out of these people. And usually that is a result of some kind of unresolved trauma from their past, whether it be from their childhood or some kind of bad relationship with their ex-wife or an ex-girlfriend, or something that's left them this way, where they carry that baggage to the next relationship that they get involved with, or person, whatever. And this is very common because what happens is, what people don't understand, and a lot of people do understand this, but what some people don't seem to understand is that, whenever you don't break a soul tie with somebody and you're intimate with somebody and you're getting involved with someone else, if there's still soul ties from that other person that are left behind, you have to completely clear those soul ties from that other individual before you can expect to heal from the past and move on to anything that's going to be of benefit or healthy relationship. Because those soul ties, if you haven't done a cleansing of yourself or some kind of a ritual or something to get rid of those negative soul ties from that other previous relationship, then it's going to follow you into the next one until you break the soul tie, right? That's what you have to do whenever you find yourself in a bad relationship or situation that's ended. And if it didn't end amicably, which a lot of these relationships don't, or even if it did, you have to break that trauma. If you're trauma bonded to them or vice versa, you have to break all those connections with that person, because it's a soul tie. Whether you like it or not, you have had some kind of a soul tie with these people, and that's usually done, obviously, sexually. So that can be, it's a subject that people don't really like to talk about or think about, but when you do think about it, that's what's going on with a lot of these toxic things, because they carry on that negativity into the next relationship. And I realized that with this man, I was already okay. I'm not a person who hangs on to my exes by any means. Once something's over, I move on and get over it, and that's it, and I don't go back. But with these people, for whatever reason, they have a hard time of letting go of their past. They can't accept that no means no, or something is over. They want to keep on trying to drag it out or they want to get revenge because they feel like you belittled them or insulted them or humiliated them or whatever. And it becomes like a battle. It becomes like a toxic battle where you feel like you may as well be going through a divorce, even though you weren't even married to that person, and it wasn't even really Because in their mind, it's not even a serious relationship. You're still just a friend to them who they care about. Okay? So you have to realize that if you're in that kind of situation, you can't really take these people seriously. You can't trust them. They lie to you. They're never going to be committed to one person because they don't know how to be, they don't do that. And they're not going to do that because the whole time, for example, that I was with this man, he never cared. Like, I was still on a dating site and talking to other men, but not, I went out on a few dates and I told him that I'm going to be doing that because this person only saw me as his friend, but I never was intimate with any of these other men. Like sexual. I never had sex with any of them, but I did go out on a few dates because this person didn't give a shit what I did. I wasn't, and he was on a dating site the entire time as well because I was only his friend who he quote unquote cared about. But as I started to see what he's all about and the fact that he kept lying to me when I had asked him, so, have you been intimate with other women? Have you had, he would lie to me right to my face and tell me lies when I knew for a fact that he was with other women intimately, like sexually. I knew that he was. It was obvious that he was lying to me. So they lie and they seem to think that they can, that their behavior can be justified, when in fact with me, if somebody's lying to me, I don't tolerate that. I don't accept that. I would rather the truth. Okay, if you're lying to me about something like that, I need to know these things. Don't waste my fucking time. Don't fucking string me along on some fake relationship of only which that person is getting some kind of benefit and I'm not, because I wasn't getting anything out of it except I asked myself, what was I getting out of this except to humiliate me, almost like insulting little gifts and whatnot. They were just insults. Everything was an insult. Everything was meant to make me feel like react, like why would you do, like the things that they get, every kind of gift they give you, everything, it's always meant, there's always some underlying insult about it. And you think that, and then you're like second guessing yourself. Did they really do that? Did this really happen? And you're like, yes, they really did. It's called gaslighting, and it's an abusive, psychological, emotional abuse that they do. And it's very mean and vindictive, but that's what they do. And I assure you that you think that it's going to get better. No, it gets worse. The more you allow them into your life after you know that there's nothing there, you don't have any feelings for them, you know that they don't give a shit about you. It's like it's over, and there's no respect, there's no trust. And whenever you don't have that, then honestly, there's really nothing else there. There's nothing you can work with. There's nothing that you want to even work with because you feel so depleted of energy and you feel so ashamed of yourself for keep on giving these people chance after chance that you're like starting to realize that you're going crazy. You feel like you're going insane. And that's part of the gaslighting in reverse psychology that they use to make it look like you're the one crazy when you're reacting to their abuse and it's making you crazy. Well, this person, let me talk about what this person did. So this person kept insisting on wanting to see me again. Stupid me. Allowed him back into my house a couple days ago, or yesterday, whatever. And he knew that I told him I wasn't feeling well, and he's pushy. I need to see you. I want to see you. Let me see you. Oh, baby. I could read all the fucking text. Well, I don't save text messages, but I swear to God, this man, calling me baby and how are you doing? They act like they care when it's all an act. It's all fake. They don't care about you. They sure as a fuck don't care about your health or about your well-being. They don't. They don't because they don't have the ability to care about anyone except their own needs. Whenever you are with somebody who is a sexual, I want to say pervert or addict, they are so intertwined and so involved with their own psychosis and addiction that they do not even consider another person. They don't have the capacity to reciprocate in a relationship. It's very one-sided. It's about you only pleasing them. At least with me, it was. This person had no desire. Not once did he. It's all very robotic, and it's like they don't even consider you. It's like a punishment that's meant to make you feel unworthy, uncared for, it's meant to make you feel bad about yourself and to make you wonder what's wrong with me. That's all it is. And it's a form of punishment. It's a form of abuse. It's like withholding. It's to make you look like you're desperate when in fact, no, any normal, loving, or caring relationship, if you're intimate with somebody, it's going to be reciprocal. It's supposed to be reciprocal. You give, they give. That's what normal relationships are about whenever you're intimate with a person in any kind of way. It's about reciprocation. It's about it's not supposed to be a one-sided type transaction, but with these people, that's what it is, because they're narcissistic and they're sex addicts and they don't care and they're using you. And that's what happened to me. And now I can talk about it because I know it's over. I don't expect anything from that, nor do I want anything from that, but I'm able to talk about it and document it because I saw the progression of this man just going from, it was all a fucking fake act. Everything on his end was an act, like a fucking act. Literally like a bad actor putting on a front, wearing a mask. And I'm sitting here thinking, watching him when he talked, like, what are you? Who are you? And what are you doing with it? What do you want from me? Because it's all fake. It's fake. Nothing's genuine. It's like they may as well rehearse their lines, because nothing that comes out of their mouth, just about nothing, is genuine. They lie, pathological liars, whereas they know everything about you, yet they forget everything. They act like they play dumb. Okay, they play dumb. They'll ask you questions, but then they forget everything, or act like they forget everything, and then ask you the same thing a week later. Or they don't even remember things like your birthday, the fucking gym that I go to, which like, what the fuck? It's like, this is what you've been with this person for over a year, and they still don't know your fucking birthday. They still don't know what gym you go to whenever you've told them hundreds of times. See how, or either that or they're just plain dumb, you see? And so this person, knowing that I was not feeling well the other day, that I have a condition, I'm not going to talk about it right now, but I have a chronic condition of where I sometimes have to get medication for a physical ailment, and this person knows that now, and so they're acting like all of a sudden like they care, like, oh, let me bring you some medicine, or are you gonna go to the doctor? And a couple days ago he's over here, he's like he better go. I'm like, why don't you, if you really fucking cared about me, you'd take me to the doctor or the emergency room. But no, they don't care. They just want what they want, and they're in and out of your house, right? They don't care if you go to the doctor or not. They don't care what's really going on with you physically, as long as they can continue to extract energy from you and get what they want from you physically when you're dealing with a sex addict, a somatic narcissist, who usually, somatic narcissists are that's in other words, a sex addict. And they're narcissistic, and they're entitled, and they're mean, manipulative, and they cheat and they lie. You're never going to be their only one. They're always looking for somebody and they're always going to be comparing you to who, such and such, and who, so-and-so, and their exes. And they're never over their exes. Notice that they're always triangulating you with their exes or somebody who they fucking work with. And with this man, he was clearly involved with not probably only one, but several women at his fucking workplace. If not one, for sure. If not for sure one, maybe even two. I know that. I know that he was. I know for a fact that he was having a fucking affair with some woman at his fucking job. I know that. I could see it when he was, I could tell that he was fucking lying to me. That he was definitely involved with other women. It's a good thing that I didn't have intercourse with this man, because I know that my body was telling me no. I don't want to. It was like, no, something is telling me don't, because you're going to get me sick. This is not good, because you're lying to me, and I don't want to be fucking lied to. It's disrespectful. I don't do that to people. I'm not going to lie about something like that, and I don't need it either. So they lie, they use you, they sexually exploit you, they character assassinate you, they smear campaign you, they triangulate you with other women. They compare you, they insult you, they call you fat in subtle ways. Oh, comes over. Oh, I went to a restaurant called Lala's here in San Antonio, and they have vegetarian gorditas, and and then they start calling you fucking fat and gordita. Okay, gordita means little fat one. So he brings over a fucking gordita to my house the other day, and I'm like, I didn't ask for this. It's like they try to be nice, but it's always a fucking insult. Oh, a gordita, because in other words, he's calling me fat. Because I'm fat, okay? I'm fat and I'm ugly, so I'm going to get a gordita from this man. If it's not a gordita, it's pizza or a fucking cookie from Whataburger or a soda. But it's always, my point is that it's always meant to insult you. It's not anything that's meant to make you feel happy or like, wow. No, it's always something degrading about your body, because they want to have complete control over your body, over everything you put in your body, and about who you are. And that's what's so sick is about these people, is that they're often projecting their own fucking insecurities onto you. Whereas this man will say things like, pointing to his stomach, saying that he's got a fat Buddha stomach and that he needs to lose weight and he's got a fat face and all this shit, but it's my fault and he's taking it out on me. And I have never once said anything to him about, I never called him fat. I never called him ugly. Ever, ever, ever. Quite the contrary. But they're waiting because they're so used to being, they're so insecure that they have to make sure that it's like they're asking for you to say something like, yeah, you fucking fat ass, you're fucking fat, go lose 50 pounds. It's like they want you to do that so that they can engage in some kind of battle with you. When in fact, I never did anything like that. I'm not like that. But they want you. They're provoking you into saying something so that they can use that against you. Okay? It's always a fucking competition with these people. They see everybody in their life as a competition. It doesn't matter if you're their sister, their mother, their stepfather, or their work companion. It's always a fucking competition with these people. They're equal. They don't go into a relationship and see you as their equal, somebody they want to elevate. They want to drag you down to their fucking level because they feel inferior. This is their own insecurities projecting their own fucking inferiority complex onto you, and you're sitting there absorbing all their fucking toxic shit like a sponge, when in fact, I was doing great before I ever let this asshole into my life. I was doing okay. Yeah, my dad or uncle, whatever, if he's my father, he passed away, and I was going through some horrible, emotional grief because I lost a loved one, my relative who I really cared about and cared about me, died. Okay, when you lose a person to death, it's a grieving process. And this motherfucker took advantage of all my fucking vulnerabilities to the point that he's exploiting me sexually, calling me ugly and fat and a loser, making fun of my fucking hair, my appearance, my body, my clothing, stuff, every little fucking thing about me in subtle ways, like, to insult me. Like, so it's always that way with them. It's always going to be an insult. So he comes over here the other day with this fucking food from a place called Lola's, where he's talking about, I went there and I sat outside on the porch and I had a nice lemonade and they have vegetarian gorditas. And so then he's like, let's go there. Let's go. I'm like, I already ate, they know that, oh, well, I'll bring you. I don't want you to bring, you don't have to bring me anything. So he shows up with something from this restaurant called Lala's here in San Antonio. And it's a gordita. I didn't ask for that, but thanks. And he brought one for himself, and he gave me one that's vegetarian. I'm like, oh, so in other words, you want me to get that so I can get fat, right? Because you're calling me fat. Gordita. In other words, yeah, I get it. I'm not fucking dumb. So he's calling me fat in a subtle way, because I'm not like a, he's calling me fat, and then he brings over. Look what he brought over this time. He brought over some Armani Code, or a sample of Armani Code perfume, cologne, whatever. Oh, okay, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? And then, not only, and I just noticed this today, I took it the other day, I'm like, okay, thanks. And then, another one called Gucci Guilty. Look at that, a little sample from Saks Fifth Avenue of Gucci Guilty. Oh, okay, what am I guilty? Maybe you're fucking guilty, dude. You're the fucking liar who's fucking your bitch at your beloved co-worker, Victoria, whatever the fuck her name is, or God knows who else you're screwing at your job. Hello? Or maybe, whatever. I'm not dumb, I know that, and you lied to me about that. You're still involved with your other exes. Duh. Okay? And then he has the audacity to, make sure, it's like he knows that I'm trying to get my fucking prescription for a medicine that I needed to get, and he has to fucking make sure he gets in the middle of all that, acting like he gives a shit. And so I told him I have to consult online to get my medication. Would you let me fucking, and it's like he needs all my fucking attention, right? And he's demanding of something that he wants from me sexually. Imagine a fucking blowjob. Imagine that. Oh, here I am, BJ girl to the rescue, right? This man's demanding of fucking blowjobs from me. So, I don't give a fuck. I'll fucking say it like it is, because this is how this asshole treats me, like a fucking doormat, like someone to give him a fucking blowjob. That's all I am to him. Yeah, I admit it. That's all I was, is this asshole. And so then he comes over acting like he doesn't give a shit about me. I tell you that. It's all, and I don't even care about, there's nothing there. I don't have any feelings towards him at all. It's impossible to love or care about a fucking narcissist. They have nothing to give, and they're just take up your fucking space and time and energy, and there's nothing there because it's never going to get any better. I thought it would. I tried, and I fucking give up. I'm not going to entertain this motherfucker anymore into my fucking house, my space, my violating my boundaries. No more. No more, okay? No more. I will not do it to myself anymore. I will not. And I'm talking to myself to validate my own self, for my own therapy. That's why I make these videos, for my own therapy. Because I have to fucking document this shit. It's so fucking crazy and bizarre that it's like, what the fuck was that about? And it took me, I had to process it all today. It happened yesterday, but knowing that I was not feeling well and kind of weak, he had to fucking take advantage, right? And now I see what the fuck, I didn't even realize yesterday what it was. Oh, guilty, Gucci, and then Armani code. Oh, I get it. What's a clue there? What's this about, Mr. Luna fucking Mezzle dance motherfucking salsa player, dancer, asshole, liar, fucking cocksucker, whatever the fuck, sex addict, jackass, smooth talking, whatever the fuck. And so I get to the gym today, smooth operator, that Sade song they always fuck. This guy's a fucking player, dude. He's a fucking player. He's a liar. He's a con man. And he thinks that he can have any woman he wants because he thinks he's got a big dick, that, all the women want to be with him because he's got a big penis, he thinks. It's all he cares about is his fucking penis size, literally. That's all he cares about, is you sucking his fucking dick or getting him off sexually and how big his dick is. And that's how these men are. It's really sick. And he lives at home with mommy and daddy. But all he cares about is getting his fucking sexual needs met. That's all he fucking cares about when it comes to using me. And I see that, and I was letting him do that. I kept letting the motherfucker manipulate me and come back into my life to re-traumatize me over and over again. And I'm like, what? I'm like, why am I doing this? Now it's me. It's literally my problem now, because I keep on fucking letting him back into my house, banging on my fucking, or knocking on my window. You block them, they call you. It's like, what? Why? What the fuck? Okay. So he gives me these nice little trinkets. Okay, great. Nice gaslighting. That's cool. Thank you. That's really nice of you. I can't thank you enough for the gaslighting, sir. You're so nice. Okay. And then so he knows that I need to get my fucking medication. I told him I want to go get my No. I needed to go get my prescription, which I did an online consultation for. And he wouldn't even let me fucking do that. And so I went and got it today, and guess what happened? So I'm in line at Walgreens in the drive-thru waiting. I had to wait like about, 10 minutes, just in time for them to send the perps, the gang stalkers, right? The fucking gang stalkers to gaslight me even more. So I'm in line, and right next to me, I'm in the line to the far left where there's a window. I didn't do the one where they have the window chute where the tube goes through. But I'm in line I mean, at the window at the Walgreens drive-thru, picking up my prescription, and then there's a woman pulls up next to me in this Ford Mustang, like a brand new fancy Ford Mustang, and she unrolls a window and she talks really loud, and there she's like and saying something like, the woman says like, "What's your name?" or Alicia, whatever. Go figure. This man, by the way, that was not a fucking coincidence because her name was Alicia. And the woman who this man, because we just talked about this girl the other day, this ex-girlfriend of his named Alicia, who he was with, who I don't know why that ended necessarily, but I have no idea exactly why there. But nonetheless, he had a girlfriend. Because I was talking to him, and I was like, "When was your last girlfriend?" That was his last girlfriend in like 2019, named Alicia something, whatever. I'm not going to say her last name, but I don't know, whatever. They just had a lot of drama or something like that. But that was his last girlfriend, right? His they had a real relationship, okay? Whereas I'm nothing. I'm just a fucking doormat who he can use and exploit for. But I was never a girlfriend, by the way, thank God. I wouldn't want that with him anyway. A fucking liar, cheater, whatever, narcissist. But anyway, so she comes, Alicia, she says it really loud, and I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't even really think about it, but I just remembered I had just talked about that. We had just mentioned that last night when he was here, that name again, and then whatever, okay? This is not a fucking coincidence. I assure you, I'm a targeted individual, and I was there getting up my medication, okay, and I was talking to him about how women often get UTIs from intercourse, and I've never had sex with this guy, but I get frequent urinary tract infections because I have a urethral, whatever. I never had intercourse with this man. I didn't want to, and I'm glad that I didn't, because I don't want to, and I'm not going to, because he's dirty. I just don't want to. And he was talking about how he doesn't use a condom and all this shit. So I'm sure, who knows how many women he's been with, and how many women, I don't know, I don't care. All I know is that I don't want to get involved with him to that extent. I did enough sucking his fucking dick, and that's all that happened, and that's it. Never once kissed him, nothing. Just me giving him fucking blowjobs, and that's all that I was to him, was a fucking doormat. And shame on me. It's all meant to shame me and shame on myself. I'm mad at myself for allowing this asshole to do that to me, using me for his fucking blowjobs. Stupid Lindsay. Stupid me. But you know what? I learn. I'll learn from my mistakes. I can't say that this asshole did not manipulate me and pressure me, which he did, and he knows it. So shame on me for letting him back into my house over and over again, knowing that I didn't want to do that, knowing I was uncomfortable with that, but stupid me for falling for this con man, asshole, liar, player, cheater. Oh, but it's not cheating because I was only his friend. It's called lying. But he would lie to me. But I was only a friend with, nothing more than a friend who gives a fucking good blowjob to this asshole. He doesn't even fucking deserve that. I'll use my energy to somebody who deserves it. As far as I'm concerned, if I ever go that route again with anybody, I will not waste it on some asshole using me. Like I said, it was just, that was all set up. It's Alicia going through there to get her medication at Walgreens, and then it's, oh no, that's just a coincidence, Lindsay. And then guess what? After that, I go to the HEB after I pick up my medication. And that same girl from because I recognize her as I'm walking out to my car, the same girl from the line at Walgreens is walking. I'm walking to my car, and she passes me right up. As I'm walking one direction, she's going the other, opposite direction. Same girl from the Walgreens, Alicia, and she just looks at me. She's got these glasses on, whatever, and I noticed her car parked right across from mine, the same Ford Mustang that I saw in the drive-thru at the Walgreens is parked right directly across from my vehicle in the HEB parking lot. Now, don't tell me that that's just a fucking coincidence. You see how this gang stalking crap how they target me? That's just an example of some of the shit that I go through every day. That's just a good example of what a targeted individual goes through. And that's what happened yesterday. Today, this afternoon. So, I'm talking about that and documenting this because this man is clearly behind all this shit. He's clearly doing stuff to gaslight me, humiliate me, insult me, degrade me, and mock me, and shame me, and smear campaign and all that crap. I don't know who the fuck he thinks he is, but you know what? Let's dig into his past and find out all his medical history and make fun of him and exploit him, because that's what, you know, people like him deserve. He's very mean. And people like that are just fucking mean. I'm sorry, but they're just demonic, mean monsters as far as I'm concerned. It's just mean, mean, mean.